What's up guys, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're looking at this, which is the R50 Pro Seeker flashlight from Olight. 3200 lumens of output. It's got a couple different cool ways you can mount it into a car or somewhere in the house. And yeah, cool little light, compact, but a lot of power that it's given to you. So let's unbox it and actually show you what you get with the light. So as you saw in the box, it said LE. This is the law enforcement kit, and that's why you have the various mounting options that we're going to talk about. So there are a couple other Seekers, R50 Seekers that Olight makes, but this one is, got a little bit more of that kind of tactical application in the way it's built. So inside, obviously, you're going to get the light. It does come with your 26650 battery. You get the user manual, get a little bit of Olight promotion included in the box. You get your charging station, or your cradle, some people call it, and a bunch of different ways that you can mount this. Again, inside your car, you can mount it on a wall inside. So that's what the back of it looks like. There's another included piece. You get the holster for carrying it. You get your car charger and your wall charger as well. Your low setting is 60 lumens, that's gonna run for 50 hours. Your medium setting is 400 lumens, that's gonna run for 7.5 hours. Your high is 1500 lumens, that's gonna start at 1500 and then drop down to 1000 lumens. And that's 10 minutes at 1500 lumens and then 160 minutes at 1000 lumens. Then your turbo is 3200 lumens, that's gonna drop down to 1000 lumens, 3200 for 1.5 minutes, and then 1000 lumens for 150 minutes. And this has a Cree XHP70 cool white LED in there. So one thing I haven't figured out yet is this thing. Looks like something that's photosensitive, but I don't know what it does, so I'm waiting to hear back from Olight about that. Charging the light is really easy. Drop it into the base here. It does have a magnet on the bottom, so when you drop that in, you can see we've got the little port there. So plug that into the plug that goes into your wall, or plug that into the plug that goes into your car, and you can charge it up. Now the concept behind the system here is that you can see this little tab. Press this, and now you can release the entire charging port from it. So you can attach this to your wall at home and then click that in and charge it at home. And then when you want to go to your car, pop this, take it out, and then you have another system that's in your car to charge it in your car. So kind of a cool way to get that set up. You get two of these right here, these backings, and it's got the 3M tape, so you could put this, on the side of your center console or somewhere in your car, and then pop it out to bring it inside, click it in, and charge it up. Here's your holster that you get from Olight. It does feel like a pretty solid one, probably one of the nicest I've seen. Kind of a fake leather thing there. Loop on the back for your belt. There's a D-ring. I will tell you that I thought at first, oh, you can't bump this and turn it on, but still you can bump it right here, and you can see the light comes on. So just be aware of that. There's no way to kind of twist it or turn it so that that's not possible. I guess even on the side probably here, right? You could bump it and turn it on. So just something to be aware of when it's in your holster. All right, standard trip out to the compost bin with the Seeker here, and right now it is at 1000 lumens as I walk out into the woods. All right, the second test here is I'm actually out at one of my bushcraft shelters, and let's just run through the different settings, and I'll take a quick look at it and kind of show you what it looks like, show you around a little bit of the camp area here. So here's your, let's turn it off. There's your lowest setting. There's your second, third. That's gonna go back down to the lowest. Let's double click and go up to the highest setting. So there's your 32. You can see my moose skull over there and looking out into the woods. Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you would expect, it's putting out a ton of light, and just looking at it in my hand, you can actually see the reflection there. A little blinding, but you can see. And very easy to hold. It's very easy to hold. It's not like a huge, oversized light that's a hassle. This thing is very manageable. And then let me go back down here. I could certainly get around camp at night. There's the fire pit. You can see I haven't used it in a bit because there's some Virginia creeper growing in there, but just looking around camp, I could definitely use it at the lowest setting, and then go up one notch, and I could certainly walk around and get around camp quite easily. And this is actually a good size for for a light that you would use, you know, around camp or something like that. Certainly has more, I don't know, everyday emergency type, you know, emergency light in your vehicle type applications, I think, as opposed to camping. But this thing is not massive, and it's also not just like a little dinky EDC light. So nice mix across two worlds for the Seeker here. Okay, you've seen it in use. I want to ask you two questions, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this light. So question number one is about the mounting system. I like the fact that you can set it up in your car and also at home. Would you be concerned if you had this in your car that someone would swipe it? Let's hear your thoughts on that in the comment section. The other thing I want to ask you about is the lumen output, right? So it says 3,200 lumens. That runs for about a minute and a half. It drops down to 1,000. And then the other option is, let me look here, high for 1,500 lumens, and it drops down to 1,000, and that's 1,500 at 10 minutes. So you've got 1,000 lumens running for, you know, 150, 160 minutes. That's a good amount of runtime at 1,000 lumens. So how do you feel about the fact that it says 3,200 lumens on the box? I'm honestly asking because I know that for Olight lights, if it says X output, it's going to be for a short amount of time and then drop down. So I feel like I'm inoculated to it because I kind of understand that already because I've checked out a lot of their lights. But when you see that, how do you as a viewer, how do you as a consumer think about that? Too much background noise where I was shooting the video before, so I had to wait a couple days and come to a new location. Now it's raining, so hopefully we can get this done at this point, wrap up the video. But let me tell you a couple things. First off, I did hear back from Olight about this photosensitive kind of window right there. I'll roll in the footage. Basically what happens is that when this is in the cradle and charging and it's plugged in, and say the power in your house goes down, this is going to come on automatically so you can find it. It comes on at the lowest setting. And then when the power comes back on, the light will turn itself off. So that little photosensitive window there or circle there picks up the light in the house so it knows to turn the light on when the power goes out. So that's one thing. As far as who this light is for, what I'll say is that if it were me purchasing this light, I would have to find significant value in the charging station. So the cradle that you can have for the car, and then the one you can have at home, and transporting them back and forth. If those aren't a huge win to you, then I would focus on getting a different one of the Seekers, or you know, you can get a different light obviously overall. As I mentioned a couple moments ago, I'll be interested to hear what you guys say in the comments about the lumen output. Because basically I'm trying to think about scenarios where I'm like, I only need 3,200 lumens for a minute or so. I only need 1,500 lumens for a couple minutes, whatever it is. I feel like for me, I'm generally using the light at a consistent level, and I'm not changing it up and down a lot. So I've been interested to hear what you guys think about that as far as it's being advertised at 32, which it is, but you know, your consistent runtime is closer to 1,000. I do like the compact nature of it. I do like that it has the magnetic base for charging. I will show you a couple photos here that it does stick to metal, and sometimes these charging bases they're magnetic, but they're more for the charging process, not for the you know, using it up against a piece of metal. So I think the original Warrior that they put out had a magnetic base, but it was really to connect it to the charger, and less like when you put it against my microwave, my stove at home, it would just kind of slide down. That's a legit magnet. It'll really stick. So you know, overall, I think with any flashlight, it's got to be about how much you're paying and what the particular functions are. For me, this is not an EDC light. I'm not going to wear the holster. This is definitely a car/home emergency light. Probably wouldn't put this in a bag just because those charging systems are really built for the car and for home. And even the charger is a, you know, plug it into the wall type of charger, not USB, not something you're going to plug into a USB port in a solar charger, that type of thing. So definitely a more emergency light for car and home is how I'm viewing this thing. Functionally, I would lean more to saying this is a floodlight as opposed to a thrower. It does have some pretty good throw, but I just find it's giving me a pretty broad light as opposed to, you know, launching a ton of light into the distance like some of their other lights. This thing's going to throw better than my little S1R baton, but I would say it leans toward a floodlight in my opinion. But overall, it's a good light and it has worked well, and I continue to enjoy what Olight is putting out. I feel like they're innovating regularly, trying new things, and I really feel like if they could get their run times up a bit, they would make a huge push into the market. I just think they need to have longer run times for some of their lights at the higher lumen output. So that's my thoughts on the Olight R50 Seeker Pro Law Enforcement Edition. And as the rain kicks up now, I'm gonna be heading out. But let's hear your thoughts in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching the videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram and Tumblr as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.